Okay, sorry, a little late there. Good morning, everybody. Let's get the charts up. So buyers showed up in a big way yesterday. Retraced. I mean, gotta mute this. Hold on. Every day. Oh, Rabbi. Okay. So you can see here the retracement yesterday was impressive from one day to the next. Um, Prices are coming up into this swing high, which factory work says, you know, do not buy any continuation move higher at the open into that resistance, as it probably will not go much further. Uh, we'll see if it goes sideways from there or pulls back. But, we got to respect the way this thing came down. The Qs look a lot better than this, but we'll see how this plays out, whether it, potentially can make, as one said, um, so possibilities, craziness, it goes right back up to the high and exceeds it, right? Seems pretty unlikely happens today. Other scenario, head and shoulders top forms where I've got this red band here, which is right on this high. It rolls over from there, and we'll see if that happens. Or maybe it just chops sideways. So chopping sideways, what we'd want to see from a swing trading perspective is a correction bar. It's a correction bar, meaning it goes sideways here, it attempts to go down, and it springs back up again. So it shows, that attempt to drop and there's a strong bid underneath rather than, hey, this thing just moved a little too far, too fast into this prior support point and then, it pop back up and start to roll. So when it does start to roll, it, you see, correction bar just springs right back to the upside again. So something we will be watching for. Uh, Today is an SPX day, but you can see it's going to gap up a bit. Eyeball that. Where's it going to gap up to? Probably better to look at SSO. Uh, let's look at SSO or SPY. 380, 379. Okay, so into a whole number, pretty decent sized gap. Maybe it could run to that topping tail, 381. That would be some significant resistance. We see 382 is the same as the futures. Again, if this was during the trading day, just to reinforce the idea of a correction bar, the next bar would move below this one and spring back up, and then you'd get a measured move into here. Whereas today it's gapping up into this area. So maybe it could run a bit further up to there where it's an obvious place where sellers are going to be. Correction bar concept, or even something like this, just to point out where it dips down and comes right back up again. We could get that continuation move. So the NQs are right up against that high there. And we've got earnings with Amazon, I think it's tonight. So that'll be a big influence. Coming right up into resistance. Markets are making their move here pre-market. Going sideways for a couple of hours. And Maybe rolls back over. Could be a pop or a poop. More guaranteed stimulus. The corruption trade is alive and well. YM coming up into some resistance there. I think this morning could be a flip of a coin. I think we have to respect yesterday's retracement, especially in the Nasdaq. Makes the weekly chart set up more of a consolidation, and if it closes like this at the end of the week, a bear sandwich, which we know is a bullish pattern. So we'll see at the end of the week. Today's Tuesday morning. We'll see where this is. I'll see after those earnings reports coming out. Uh, Looking at the Qs, this will grow. Where is this? 325-ish, 325. Just getting right near the top of that topping tail. Not a place to be thinking, getting aggressively long. The depth of retracement is bullish. We'll see if it probably will chop around here a bit. Russell coming up into resistance area, pretty wide and sloppy, as you can see here. Got through that pivot. There's another pivot. There's another. Plenty of pivots there to the left. Bonds back down. No surprise. Certainly look like they're going to keep going down to that level that we've been looking at. Now, oil, interesting. And we spoke yesterday about this bull type of flag and the new administration closing down leases and pipelines and make America more dependent on foreign oil. Less supply, price goes up. It's a genius. Sarcasm there. Gold coming back down. It's doing nothing still, staying away. Silver gave it up yesterday. We spoke about it being right at resistance on the whole number. I got gapped up, I assume, on the whole story of Wall Street bets and dealers saying there was no supply, and it was just a suck job, and people holding losses here. Let's see what happens. A couple of weeks ago, I said, keep an eye on the euro and the dollar. And it'd be interesting to see because the dollar is bottoming out. See the euro rolling over and breaking under that swing low there. And the dollar's starting to move up. And it's been weak for a while. And that might just have a negative influence at some point. People start taking notice of it. Short-term interest rates are still low. No problem there. And longer-term interest rates, I still think they're going to go higher. So, let's see. Pull back there, got bought. What did the transports do? Still weakness there. I think things, what you typed there before, McGraw, a coin flip. I think this market's a bit of a coin flip. And I think what's playing out is don't let one day's bearishness, and in yesterday's case, one day's bullishness sway you to a strong commitment one way or the other until this resolves itself. So, all yours, Dan.
Good morning. Yeah, I was mentioning yesterday that I actually was expecting a little bounce because of the McClellan being oversold breadth. But now with yesterday's retracement and today's move, I didn't expect this deep. But as Greg reviewed, we'll take it day by day. We actually had a couple shorts trigger yesterday because with yesterday's gap up, I clearly said they're fine because they're not going to trigger unless they're weak. You know, some airline stocks, Marriott, a couple did not trigger, which was fine. Let's see, Oliver, GM, and AJ. Yes, this is what we call the turn. The turn on support in the 20, and it's gapping up. So 30-minute high, that's not bad. Well, let me give some adjustments here to our room. This ENTG, I like. Let's tighten the stop 30 here on Jemiah. We entered yesterday, put spread, that looks good. The Futu here, still extended, sloppy, gapping up. I don't know, possibly 30-minute high, but this looks like one of those short squeeze things, but I don't like the daily. Uber was, I just saw on the news, they bought some company. Kramer was talking about it, I wasn't paying attention, but 56, no pattern whatsoever. We'll look at it in 30 minutes. This, you know, I told you, I'm like conditioned now. Every time I see something like this looks like the footprint of a short squeeze. But all I care about is, you know, making money now. And it had a nice inside day. That was an entry. Now it's gapping up to 33 bucks. I would be hitting that bid so hard right now, pre-market. I would be out. Hit the bid, on to the next trade. So I have no interest in Saba. Alcohol delivery. Now, why? Yeah, it said it was 1.1 billion. Why would you? I don't understand that one iota. Why would you? Why would you pay that? I don't know. I just don't get it. Jake, when you say breaking out, the breakout occurred 4 days ago. So now it's a potential gap and crap far from the 20. So I have no idea what you mean when you say breaking out long. That's just not, that's not a breakout. Facebook. Yeah, it was on our watch list yesterday. And then somebody said that it was tanking into the close. And I'm like, really? That's not a tank. It's a little retracement. Amazon. My Amazon was acting wonderfully yesterday, intraday. Has earnings after the bell. Along with Google. Google's up. These retracements are incredible. Tesla was strong. We were talking about doing a put spread, but I just didn't trust 4 days on this thing. Diego LI short. 3130. It's gapping right to support. I personally wouldn't touch it unless maybe it took out a 30-minute high. I'm sorry, 30-minute low. But as of right now, I don't know what to do with that. Thomas is asking Jemiah. We're in that from yesterday. But it's, you know, it's a nice gap, but it's gapping up $4. You need a pullback now. But our yesterday was the entry. We nailed the entry yesterday. VIAC. Let's buy setup. It's fine. Over the high. Next BI. That's a breakout. Wow. Sure. I mean, it's gapping up $2, but it looks higher. It looks higher. Buy 30-minute high or a pullback. Stop yesterday's low. That's been resting here at the 20, so it's not that extended. Yeah, UPS. Yeah, I actually, there was a ton of earnings. We're in the middle of earnings season here, and since there were so many, I went through and I deleted a bunch of them that were just junk. We try to speed up our review here. Of course, McGraw. Of course. You know, anything that's a directional, I like as a put spread or credit spread, but go through the checklist. But the pattern's there. So now go through the rest of it, which are liquid, what's the premium, and for how long. UPS 164. That's, wow, it's a big gap. That's a big gap, but it's gapping right to resistance. So for a new trade, I have no idea what to do right now, but it's bullish pre-market also. So possibly, Jake, I just need more information. AI, yeah, AI with this gap up, I want to keep an eye on this for a put spread. Yep. And I have AI in the bottom right here. And also, I like SYY for a short. It's a bear gap. Let's see, this had, you know, let me blow it up. So that's a very bullish gap there, but now it's been in a trading range. And this was a bear 1, 2, 3, and it's gapping down on earnings. So if it can take out a 30-minute low, then I like it. You know, here it is pre-market. And see, 30 minutes just gives us time to reassess supply and demand after digesting the earnings and hopefully any news. All right, some of these Reddit favorite short squeeze things are coming back to earth. You know, I've been talking about selling call spreads on them. AMC, I was scratching my head yesterday. Who the heck was buying this junk? The big gap up yesterday. Now look, it's gapping under $10. These things are very dangerous to swing trade. Cost, another one. Look at that, $3 to 120. Absolute insanity. And this GME disaster that we were in, we're short the 280 calls because we, if you were able to, rolled them up and out. And yeah, there's a lot of people mad at the industry right now for restricting their accounts. Silver here is coming in also. Tomorrow we're going to be talking about how to trade these short squeezes, long and short. ENTG, all right, this one looks beautiful. If it doesn't gap up too big, but a beautiful buy setup on major support. So I like this one. I'm going to put it in a window. My other computer. That looks good. Oh, Debbie here on my other computer. I have LEU as a watch making the turn and NXE, both in the uranium sector. And this looks good, NXE. If it can give us a 1, 2, 3 for tomorrow, that looks great. So I was going about NITK. Now 1560, gapping down here. 30-minute low, again, you know, you don't want it to gap down and slam in your face, but yeah, that could be a day trade short, sure. Sure. DQ, too sloppy for me. I think we can find a lot better. Dell got an upgrade, 76 and change. This gap in resistance, no interest. Rambus, I think had earnings. See, I don't trust unless there's volume. I see two little dots here, but I don't know. Well, I don't know. I think we can find better. Roku, Emmanuel, put spread. Yeah, that's fine. I also had McGraw entered Zoom put spread yesterday, and I was waiting for today just because this is sloppy, slop. I would never buy this. But remember, that's the beauty of selling a credit spread. We're just calling a short-term bottom. We just want it not to go down. So Zoom's a put spread candidate. Khaled Zinga. I don't like the daily at all. Gapped up to resistance, closed below the open. 1030. I don't know, maybe day trade. It's not clean to me. Goldman 278. It might be getting close, but I'm not confident, Jake, that this is a potent turn yet. I would like it a lot better if it had a bottoming tail, gap reversal or something, because right now it's just they're inside bars in a bearish retracement. So I don't know yet, but I'll put it on the list over here. Duncan, 58. Yeah, he's a tough one to trade, but yeah, Debbie asked me yesterday if I thought that this would go up into the Super Bowl. And I said, well, it makes sense, right? That, and I said, pizza. Although that looks horrible. Yeah, Crest, I think had earnings. Yeah, that's on a short watch list. Sure, gapping under all these three bars. Arc bought Dunking. Oh, you mean they added it? Don't when you say a company got bought, that means they bought the whole company. Yeah, you mean they added it to their ETF? Okay. Where did I leave off? DXC. Yeah, this was one Debbie mentioned yesterday. It had earnings. So this is a total picture to me of, the bad earnings were leaked. That doesn't mean that it couldn't gap right back to 30 bucks and all these people would be caught in a bear trap. But as of right now, yeah, that was a bearish earnings. There's the press you mentioned. This one, made new lows and snapped right back. So this is a put spread watch for Friday, McGraw. If we can get something under yesterday's low. All right, so Jake, see this bottoming tail? That would be a nice picture. That if I had something like that on Goldman. So this one's far from the 20. And I in no way would expect a new high because of this nasty retracement, but I love yesterday's bottoming tail. Steve, ETR. There's no pattern. It's trying to bottom, but there's no pattern right now. GTN. It's in a sideways trading range. Lit B. Yeah, none of those can I really see good gaps. But this is a 1, 2, 3. So if this trades over Friday's high, Steve, I like this one the best. Target 3 to 320. FBBRF. It's a buy setup with a deep retracement, but bottoming tail, inside bar, green bar. Yeah, that ain't bad. With it having 4 decimal places, that's telling me that it's a OTC stock. But it looks higher, sure. CAC earnings breakdown, nothing to do with that. ARE swap. Couple oils here. BP, that's an ADR. Gap down looks lower. Sky, gap's too big. MDC. This one I like. MDC. I was waiting. I couldn't tell where it was opening pre-market. It's a sloppy buy setup, and see it's making the turn with a price void at earnings. So that was fine. Maybe, I don't know, 5, 10, 15-minute high. I personally just don't trade in the first 5 minutes. This had earnings. A mess. Exxon trying to make the turn, but sloppy. I saw COP. COP had earnings. I don't know. It's sloppy too. Race, garbage. That's Ferrari. Race. Hog. Oh, that's an ugly gap on the hog. And look at that waterfall pre-market. Wow, that's some pain for the motorcycle boys. There's COP. SYY. Gap breakdown. Maybe 30-minute. Oh, that's the one I posted. 30-minute low. Water bullish gap. Look at these. Look at these 20 over 50 moving averages. That's a sign of strength, of a strong trend. The gap's too big for me, but it looks higher. OM. It's just in a trading range here, Steve. There's no price void. I don't know. I don't like the way it trades intraday either. That's a sign of low volume. Teradyne. Yeah. I mean, deep retracement, crack the uptrend, maybe day trade long is all. And that's too sloppy for me. Market's some moving. Look at this, right back to this breakdown area on the Qs. Yeah, look at these MAs. Every time we get nasty cracks. This I remember. This was right into the election. Right, and the gap was the election Tuesday. I remember that very clearly. I remember saying, "Hey, we got a bullish reversal here, folks. If you don't mind, the election risk. This green bar right there. We had our internals in alignment. That was nice. But the bulls are still in control. That's my point here. Coke was on my list, so no more. Let's see. Okay, next let's cancel. I canceled Boeing yesterday. We had Marriott and Love, did not trigger yesterday. And let's just cancel those two. Just look for new setups. A CRM was another one, a bull put credit spread yesterday. Well, in the weekend there you go. So that's a go for put spread and a directional. That looks great. All right, SYY here ripping, so let's cancel that as a short. This looks nice, folks. If you want to buy it, stop under this 15-minute pivot. I know that's 9:35. Let's watch that on. I'll put him here. 5-minute chart. That looks good. And ENTG, gap and crafts, that's messing up my buy setup. Tilray moving. Nice, nice. Okay, yeah, this sector got a little shaky, but it's acting a whole lot better right now. Talking for McGraw. It's light volume. It's a bullish 15. It's at the top of the range. All right, this green, let's see what I had posted. This was in the weekend letter. $217. Maybe we can do a tighter one now. Yeah, there's no way we're getting any juice. But we can do the 220s now. No juice. No juice unless you went out the next week, which that's a long way away in my world. But it looks good. It's a nice bottoming pattern. Look how it bounced right at the 200, gap up, went sideways for a week and a half. Now it's a gap breakout with a price void. I think target 245.